Hi, this is the second part of the instructional video to guide you through your third assignment. Now that we have configured our shipping, let me guide you through the rest of the item listing flow. I want to start with the photos. A few short tips on photos. It is totally fine to do your photos using a smartphone, just as Arslan did it in this example. The important point is that you should have good light, as is the case here, and also please make sure that you add a minimum of 5 images. I recommend that you take images from different angles and that you show different details, just as Arslan did very well in this example. Moving on. Let's talk about the title and how you can find the most important keywords. What you need to start with is think about how you would describe your product if you only had 3 keywords. I would say if I only had 3 keywords to describe this antique rug, I would do it like this. I would describe it as antique Turkmen rug. This is how you should start. Afterwards, let's find the most important keywords for the product, just as Arslan did here. So how do you know what keywords you need to use? 2 things. First, you can simply do a research for the same type of product. So in my case, antique Turkmen rug. And then what I can do is I can check the filters over here for an indication of what features the buyers want to see. The first features that buyers want to know about is size. The second feature they want to know about is color. Afterwards, they also want to know about the regional design, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do then is use this as a guide to populate my keywords. And that's exactly what we've done. So let me move back. So we are saying that the size is 4 by 6 feet. We are saying that the material is wool. And we are adding the color, which is blue. We also add the regional design, which in this case, I have to check. Regional design is Ersari in this case. Okay. What about the other keywords that the seller here has used? Well, the other thing that I recommend is that you look through the list of your main competitors to see what kind of keywords they are using. And if you find keywords that are widely used, I recommend that you also add them in. The bottom line is that the title is very, very, very important for the visibility of your products, and therefore it is worth to spend a little bit of time on it. Moving on. Subtitle. I do not recommend that you add a subtitle. It will only cost you money and it is not going to add value. Just make sure that you add as many keywords as possible in the title and you will be fine. Custom label. This is not needed unless you are looking to forward deploy your products into a warehouse. But other than that, you don't need to fill this in. The store category, the item category we already discussed. It is possible to add the category here as well if you need to do it. The store category is something that you can configure yourself. Once you have created a store on eBay, you can create your own store categories, but in most cases, this is not so important at the beginning. Moving on. Item specifics. This is your second opportunity to tell eBay the keywords related to your product. This is also very important for the visibility of your product, and I do recommend that you take the time to fill in the details. Again, as an example, regional design, brand, what is the culture of it, what is the color, what is the material, what is the production technique, and so on. Of course, these keywords, they are specific to the category that you have chosen. Moving on. Item condition. So it's possible here, if you need to make changes, you can still adapt it. In my case, I can see that I wrongly selected new. This is a pre-owned one, so I'm changing the condition here. Description. For the description, in your assignment, at the bottom, you will find a full description that you can use as a template for your listing. What's important for you to know right now is that this description should be quite extensive, and it should cover a few parts as follows. First, you want to describe the product. I recommend that you do a bullet list, just like this seller, where you describe the key features of your product. It's also possible to add further details about your product as done here. Then, I always recommend that you use the item description to talk about your company. Finally, I strongly recommend that you use the item description to also talk about your store policies, meaning what is your shipping time, what are your returns conditions, etc. Again, on your assignment, you will find a full template with all the text. I invite you to just copy this, paste it into your item description, and then you can make adaptations as needed. Okay, pricing. For price, always select buy it now, then add your price. Here, I will not go into details about how you have to set your price. We discussed this in an earlier webinar, so please go back to the video on pricing if you have any doubts. The only thing I want to mention here is please be conscious that your price needs to be in line with the market and competitive. Okay, allow offers. It's possible to set this up or to unselect this. My recommendation is that you do select it, and what it means is that your buyers will have the possibility to send you or to offer you a price that is different from the one that you have indicated. Let me show you. Here, if I come to this listing as a buyer, I can either click on buy it now, or I can click on make an offer. If I do that, I can send the buyer a different offer. Of course, it will usually be a lower price. And as a buyer, you have the choice to then accept the offer, or you can say, no, I'm not willing to accept the offer. The reason I recommend that you activate this is because it gives you more traffic, especially at the beginning when you're just starting out. I'm not going to discuss volume pricing because this is part of another video where we talk about promotions. Shipping we discussed in the previous video, so I'm not going to cover it here. And then finally, promoted listings, I'm also not going to discuss it. This is another possibility for promotion, which is discussed in the video on marketing. Payment preferences, essentially the only payment option that you have is this one here, so there's nothing that you need to do. In all cases, the payments that you receive, they will go to your Pioneer account. It's always Pioneer, and at the moment that's the only solution that eBay has for sellers. I want to clarify that when you go to a listing as a customer, you can see many other payment methods, but this is the other side of the transaction. So here you have a buyer that's using a certain payment method to send the money to eBay. So could be PayPal, could be Google Pay, could be a credit card. eBay then collects the money, but it will always use Pioneer to send the money back to you. And this is what the payment option is referring to here. Good. Charity, I'm not going to cover. I can briefly cover it. You have the possibility to choose a charity of your choice, and then a percentage of your sales value will then go to that charity. Typically, I would not recommend this for new sellers. Great. So once you have completed all this, you are then ready to list your item. It is possible that the list item option is not available to you. This is if your account is not yet fully verified. So I know that some of you are still in the process of getting verified by Pioneer, and listing a product and making it visible to the international buyers. In order to do that, you have to be verified on Pioneer. In this case, we are, and I can either list it, but if I had, in the scenario that I'm not yet verified with Pioneer, what you can do is you can click on preview. You can do this in any case, and then you can just send me a screenshot of the product and upload it to your assignment, and this will count as you having completed the assignment. In my case, I now will go ahead and list the product. so you can see what happens. So I have now listed the product. eBay is telling me that the listing is live, and I can go and look at my listing by clicking on view listing. And again, I can then check if my shipping settings are correct. And this completes the instructional video. Good luck with the assignments, and I'll see you soon.